Good morning, everyone. This morning, I'm joined by Felipe at Liberty Signal, and we're going to have a little chat about trading. We've been talking for the last couple of months about trading. We come from different backgrounds, so I wanted to just have him on today and give you guys some insight into a different perspective of the market, because I typically trade options and Felipe does swing trading, so we have completely different styles. And I'm going to introduce you right now.
Awesome. Well, Levi, thank you. Well, for everyone that doesn't know me, my name is Felipe Guirao. As Levi says, I'm a trader, professional trader. I manage a small fund right now, which is family and friends of family. I trade stocks and I trade spot. I don't trade derivatives, just like Levi said.
You know, you're a swing trader. So what exactly does that mean to be a swing trader?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Well, swing trading, it's all about spotting trends in the market. Of course, I trade long and short and I trade spot stocks. So what you want to find is stocks that are strong in momentum and linearity, and they have a young trend that is starting out, and you want to look for that first consolidation. I have all of my rules and then I'm going to show you some charts to show you exactly what I look at. But you want to get onto the breakout of the first consolidation after the first leg of a new trend. That's the highest probability trade that you can take on trading momentum breakouts during trends on stocks. And the cool thing about it is that swing trading aims to capture that 3 to 5 day move that happens after these small consolidations. And they are quick moves, they're at the maximum 5 days. And the cool thing about it is that on breakout day, you enter at the end at the morning. The signal is generated at the end of the day once the breakout completes, and you get in on the next morning at the open. And swing trading, it's all about getting in with a very tight stop loss and getting that asymmetric risk reward on the trade. So we are looking for those trades that are really going to give us a multiple of our risk, and that's how we get our expectancy up. That's how we also, with all of my rules, I'm going to show you again some charts, we aim to get a very high success rate ratio, a very high success rate percentage on our trades, so that give us a nice expectancy, and executing it over and over again really brings in the profits. And just like I said, I go long and short. So the cool thing about swing trading also is that you can make money in any market condition as long as the market is going up or is going down. So if we are in a strong bull market, or we are in a correction, or in a bear market, we can still make a lot of money. In fact, we do. Again, I'm going to show then the performance of the past month with all of the signals and the trades I take to show you that it can be done. And of course, there is just one time that this style is not in favor, which is mainly when the market is consolidating, when the market is very, very choppy, just like it was for me on September 2024. But you know, the cool thing about it is that, for example, you trade options that you don't trade directionally, so you can profit from these, you know, moments when the markets are choppy and there is no clear direction. Because I trade directionally, I tend to just not trade in those times. But you, with options, you can make money off those movements, which is pretty cool. Actually, something that I should be getting into in the near future.
Yeah, it's interesting how our styles differ, because my style of trading, I'm like a range trader, and you are when a stock is moving outside of the range, if that's the right understanding that I have of swing trading, where for options, typically when I'm setting something up, I'm saying I think the stock's going to stay in this range, and you're looking at it saying, well, it's been in this range and now it's moving either up or down. Is that correct?
Exactly. It's all about finding, you know, those stocks that are breaking out from ranges and they're looking to go higher and higher. Better in a sense of the word is that I can get asymmetric risk rewards on the trade. As of trading directionally with options, it's not that easy to get a multiple of your risk. I mean, a high multiple of your risk on a trade is not that easy. It can be done, obviously, if you construct your trades right, just like you do. But, you know, for most people, it's not that easy to do. So, yeah.
That is very, very true. And I think that asymmetrical risk factor that Felipe is talking about is one of the things that drew me towards his service. When he reached out to me, I was like, oh, this is very interesting. It's a very low risk strategy, and the rewards are, you know, typically unlimited if the stock was to move in a very extreme way. And of course, he's looking at specific time frames. So they are limited by time. How much can a stock move within within a time frame. And you said it's typically the 3 to 5 day swing trade, and I know his signals are very specific. Like that's one of the cool things about your service is that you have like a really strict rule set of like, this is how you get in and this is how you get out. And what that does is it makes it a very simple service to follow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know that I'm going to show stuff right now on the side, but the trading system itself, I made it easy for people to follow. Obviously, there is a lot of work that has been done before that. Obviously, I've been trading for 12 years right now. On the first 4 years, it took me the first 4 years losing money, losing accounts. I lost over 35K. You know, at the start of the beginning of my journey, I did every single mistake that most people do when they start to trade. You know, I started getting into all of the strategies possible. I was trading futures and forex, and I was learning all of these strategies. I was trying to trade everything at the same time. I had like 15 indicators on my charts. And the moment it really clicked for me was when I was reading this book, from Marcel Link, High Probability Trading. It has like 2-3 chapters talking about systems trading and backtesting. And that's where I started developing this system ultimately that I'm trading right now for the past 5 years. I trade for myself and for my fund also, and also, of course, for subscribers that are following it right now. That's why I open it up to the public, is that it is based on data. It is based on, I went through 9,000 stocks, 3 decades. I studied everything, and I have a huge set of rules that when I scan for them at the end of the day, and for example, I always get like 100 results to trade, but I just pick the top 2 or 3 that I know are going to work and are work based on data. So that's what I send to subscribers, and that's the performance we're getting. So if you don't mind, I can show a little bit of the site of the performance and everything we had.
Sounds great. Now, I do have an affiliate link. We are affiliated in that I'm introducing people to Felipe's service. So if you're interested in signing up, as a little bonus, I have a spreadsheet that I've developed specifically for tracking this type of trading, which is swing trading that a lot of people do. So you can track going long or short with an entry and then exit, and it'll track all your annual returns and chart it for you. It's really cool. And so if you use my affiliate link and you sign up for the service, which you'll have the 3-week free trial as well, which I think is amazing. Like, you are so confident in what you're doing that people can sign up for 3 weeks without paying anything. And the idea is that they would make money, or hopefully make money. Of course, nothing we do here is promises of making money. It's all, we hope that we're going to make money, or things that we're doing, and we're not offering financial advice in any way, shape, or form. But what we're doing, what Felipe's doing, is saying, hey, this system he's really confident in it, and he's allowing people to sign up, get the signals to their inbox, and check it out for free before they even sign up, which I think is super cool. And I'm kind of backing that up a little bit more and saying, hey, if you check it out for free, I'm going to give you a free spreadsheet as well, which is just like, I think it's great. That's what we're trying to do, is give back to the community. Why don't you show us the website and show us some of the returns that you've had over the last year?
Yeah, awesome. I will do that. I want to do something before talking about your spreadsheet, which is very cool, is that when people sign up to a Liberty Signal, they get it, the owner's manual, with everything explained right there, how to take a signal, which I'm going to show right now, and how to actually execute it and everything. But the cool thing about your spreadsheet is that the only thing people have to do in the morning is calculate their position sizing, just dividing 2 numbers, obviously. But on your spreadsheet, once you place all of the orders, it spits it automatically, which is great. So with your spreadsheet, people literally can do everything in under 10 minutes easily. So that's pretty cool. I highly recommend that. That's a great addition to the service. And also on the free trial, the whole idea is that if you join, you have a 3-week trial, so there is a 70% chance probability of you making money. So if you do that and you can start making money before you have to pay for the service, that's a great way. The service can pay for itself. So that's why, just like you said, I'm super confident in my system. I've been trading this for 5 years now. People are following in it, and I'm going to show the returns on 2024, where people also follow that and got that returns on their accounts. Obviously, there's nothing guaranteed in trading. This is just a system trading, but returns were there and people got to the benefit from it. So I'm going to quickly show it. I don't know if people can see it.
Yeah, it's loaded there.
Awesome. So this is the site that, of course, you can go and check the link below to get to the site. And here is the trial and everything. I show the performance. I show how the system is constructed. I mean, everything is quite detailed. And before I show the returns, you can also, there is this here that it says learn. You can go there. There are free videos, courses, and educational content on the system itself if you want to learn more in detail what it's all about, which is again pretty cool. Some example from signals that sent to subscribers. And then you have the performance on 2024. It was 106.89%. Now, quick stats just to review everything. The cool thing about this system, I believe, it's the risk-adjusted returns it gets, which I believe it's the whole point of a trader is to get great returns at a very low risk. That's how good a trader becomes, in my opinion. So, if you get 106 return in 2024 swing trading the system, you will be getting 5.35 drawdown, which is really, really good because you're not even getting a 6% drawdown during the whole year, which was great. And number of trades was 200 trades exactly for the all 2024. The percentage positive trades is 67%. The average is 65%, so that was great also. And percentage profitable months, the cool thing about it is that only September was the only losing month of the year. You can see all of the monthly detailed reports. These are all the signals that were sent and executed. So with all of it says the date, if it was long or short, the entry price, exit price, the results based on a 1% risk per trade on your account. And you can come here and check every single trade. You can go back on charts and check the signal, check the follow through. You can check absolutely everything. So you can have all of the returns right here. And how Liberty Signal really works, the whole point of this is that people can execute everything in a very low, with very low time commitment. So you get the signals 8:30 a.m., 1 hour before the market opens. You get the signals and you just have to log everything on the broker. And like I said, on the owner's manual, you get all of the explanation how to do it very, very quickly. So there is not much thing you have to do. And if you have Levi's spreadsheet, you don't even have to calculate your position sizing because it's done automatically. So that's even better. So you can do it even faster. And then during the whole day, you just have to do nothing. So that's the whole point of it. And lastly, I want to show quickly what a signal really looks like in the morning. This was a signal we sent on the 7th of January, which was the last 3 trades on January that we went short and actually profited, and we are a little bit over 1% on profit on the month of January at the moment. So this is what it looks like. You get a partial profit report, and this is what a signal really looks like. So it's super easy to execute, super easy to apply to your account and just follow the system, and ultimately get the distribution and get the profit. So this is a quick overview.
Yeah, and just looking at those particular signals. So I am part of Liberty Signal. I do get the daily email, and it's complemented my strategy so perfectly because all of the entry happens before the day starts. So before I get into my actual option trades, I can execute the signals, which is great. And the returns on those particular days. So I was trading with a $100,000 account allocation towards these. So I've got $1,000 of risk per trade. So risking 1% per trade. And on those 3 signals in particular to start the year, they're up $1,500 total. I'll show you guys the screen, but on one of the trades I was stopped out. So with including commissions, I was down $15. And then I made $241, which is a 24% return on risk. And then I made $1,285 on the 3rd trade from those particular signals. So all told, 129% return on risk capital, or 1.29% on total portfolio value, just in a single trade. And that's the power of this type of asymmetrical trading, where there's low risk with like a finite stop out. And then we have the potential of making quite a bit of money, which I like. But the biggest thing, I think the biggest thing about your service is the lack of time commitment. The fact that everything happens in the hour before market open is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's great because then you have the rest of the day. People like you, for example, that you trade options and you can profit from volatility, you can profit from non-directional movement, you can profit from ranges during the day and everything. You can do that. There are a lot of people that I have that tell me they on Liberty Signal when they are subscribers that they tell me that they love it, that they can do everything before the market opens, and then they can have the day to follow their day jobs. Most are professionals, they have things going on during the day, and they love the fact that they don't even have to pay attention to it. They set everything, the orders are there, everything is automated, so you don't have to do absolutely anything. So it gives you freedom during the day. You're trading, which is awesome. You're trading options, that's pretty cool. And it is the value, and that's the reason it exists. It's to get people to really grow their accounts without being there all day on the screen, because most can't. Most don't have the luxury. That's the point.
Yeah, and that's similar to the stuff that I do. I mean, I try not to be at the screen all day. The types of signals that I do, or the types of trades that I do, I'm looking at longer term. So I'm typically in them a month. I'm not babysitting those on a day-to-day basis. They have their risk built in. And similar to yours, I can kind of walk away from it. I'm not glued to the screen, which is a fantastic way to be. It took me a long time to get to that place where I could just say, I've put on my trades. I know they're going to play out in a certain fashion, and I can just sit back and let them do their thing.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time. Everything takes time. And that's also, I say the same, from what I'm doing, is that to the point where I can just send a report with do this to people, just place these numbers, and they can profit from that. There's so many years behind that. There is so much work that has to be done in order to get to that, for the system, for trading. I mean, for myself, in order to be able to do that, in order to be able to transfer that to another person in a so simple fashion. There is so much work and years of effort that people are just, when they get the signal report in the morning and they place a trade, if they follow the rules, they're piggybacking on so much work and so much suffering I had during the years. If people knew it, maybe they will value it more. But it's hard to just get to people to feel everything that we've been through. Obviously, as traders that develop a good system to trade, it takes years. There is no other way around it.
Yeah, and it's the cool thing about the internet is that there's something for everybody. I mean, services like yours, services like mine, where we're fast tracking people, and we're allowing them to get access to trades that would potentially take them years to develop. And it's cool that we're in this world that we can do that kind of thing. Can we talk a little bit about the market in general? And I know we're experiencing a little bit of choppiness right now. And so what are your thoughts on where we're going to go?
Well, my view overall on the markets right now is that we still are on a bull market, secular bull market. So eventually, can I show my charts? Just 1 second.
Of course, yeah. Pull up a chart.
Here we are. This is on my trading view. I'm going to just to show you what I'm seeing right now on the indices and everything. I still believe on the market itself that we are on a secular bull market. Right now, the markets are quite choppy, and in the Qs and the SPY, you can see that we are in a corrective structure at the moment. But I still believe that major support levels are being held. These previous highs right here. Let me just check the color of this. These support levels are being held. We still are on a bull market. We still are at the moment inside a major corrective structure. So volatility is quite high at the moment. I'm not for the past week we didn't have any trades. And when I send out the signals, I tell my members on the daily brief on the email that we are still in a highly volatile market, that if we attempt to take a swing going long or short, we are going to get chopped up at the moment. So we need a resolution. I believe this is going to go to the upside. Still, I'm seeing the major breadth indicators I look at, which is the advanced decline line. The first one is starting to creep up. It's no guarantees, obviously, but also I have some breadth indicators I follow on other software, where I track the amount of stocks that are in perfect uptrends and in perfect downtrends, which is a whole criteria I have, and it's heavily going towards the bullish side. It is still tilted to the bearish side, so there's still more money going out of the market or selling than buying, but it's very close to being tilted. So I think eventually this is going to have a resolution to the upside, and we're going to have a test of previous highs. At least we'll have to see obviously then what happens. If it fails, go back into the range, or continue higher. I think this will really depend on what Trump does once he gets into office. I think there's the expectation. But quick overview, I mean, Qs and SPY, it's kind of similar thing. The main thing that I'm looking at is IWM and RSP, which is small and medium caps. There are some major levels of resistance that need to be breaking up in order for the market to continue to go higher. And the majority of stocks are being tracked by IWM and RSP, not so much about Qs and SPYs. Obviously, there are just 7 stocks that are pulled in these indices. So there is still bearish pressure, but I believe everything's going to have a resolution to the upside sooner or later.
And how do you feel about like the economy in general, with Fed rate cuts coming up in 2025 being likely, that there's going to be less of them than anticipated prior to the election?
Yeah, that's the thing about inflation. We have the recent inflation report that it came out cooler than expected, so that's a good thing. I think the main fear the Fed has is that obviously, if they start to cut rates too aggressively, that inflation is going to come back, and it's going to take a whole new cycle of inflation. I mean, for inflation to show up, because monetary policy is laggy, so it's going to show up, and then the Fed will need to have these measures again to control it. And I believe that's just going to be, just an up cycle for the markets, choppiness, maybe a big correction, multiple month correction, and then go up higher. So it's hard to tell at the moment, but I believe eventually, I mean, if I had to talk about myself, obviously, is that following my system, I know I'm going to have those upswings and downswings. With the moments where the market is very, very choppy, just like it is at the moment on the past 1 or 2 weeks, it's no biggie. I just wait it out. And still in January, we're in profit. So it's really no problem for me at the moment. But yeah, that will be hard to tell. We'll have to wait and see. What's your outlook, Levi, on these things? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I feel the same. My overall, I think that Trump getting into office is overall good for a lot of the stock market indices, because he's very pro-business. So he's going to allow businesses to thrive, and I think that economically that's going to be good, which is going to allow people to push money into those investments and say, we're looking for a bullish or up move in the market, because politics are kind of aligning with business. And things like inflation being slightly lower, I think, are great. I know it depends heavily on bond yields and on interest rates. So those interest rate cuts are going to be a major driving factor. Now, it's interesting that you said we may have a bearish trend for a couple of months. Like, typically, you've been trading a long time, and I know you do this type of swing trading. How long do you think a bear market in this current landscape, if we do go bearish, when you say a couple of months, is that like 10 months, or is it closer to like the 3 to 5 range?
No, I believe it could be more around 3 months, something like that. It kind of similar. It was like at the end of 2018. I don't know if you remember that period where we have this like 3-month correction, but it was like a mini bear market. It was just 3 months. And on those type of big corrective moves or corrective phases, it's a swing trade. Really, it's easier than going. Most people believe it's harder. I believe it's easier to really go short on swings, because all of these swings show up at the same time. Once we have a flush in the market, once everything turns bearish, not only in bear markets or in corrections, but right now, for example, it is changing at the moment. But for the past week, once breadth is bearish, everything tends to move together. So when you have a flush and you were short at the top because you got the signals at the top to short, then you have the bounce, which inevitably happens. And once the indices bounce into the declining EMAs, that's when you get the next wave of shorts. And they most come into a 2, 3, 4 day window at the same time. So it's very easy to spot, very easy to profit from. And then you get a flush 5 days, 6 days in, everything starts to get a bounce. So we get out of the shorts and we just continue. So if we get it like this type of movement, which, by the way, just by looking at the IWM, that's a big move to the downside. That first leg that started on December, I see it as a big move, although we have to wait and see. But if I had to say the last thing to really round it up, I believe we are still in a bull market, and we are going to end up 2025 higher for sure. I believe we are in a bull market. AI and all of this stuff, it's a theme that is going to, I mean, many people are comparing this to the end of the 90s, but AI, it's actually adding a lot of profit to companies. It's actually something profitable, that it's productive, it's adding value to companies or a bottom line. So that's going to be reflected on earnings and everything. So I think this is going to be a great year. I truly believe it is.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I have a question that's just come up, which is about your particular trading style. Do you couple that with anything else, or like in a day like today, you're in cash, there's no trades on. Do you have zero trades in the market and you're just waiting for your signals, or do you pair this strategy with other types of investing?
I like to do it 100% on one strategy. I found that if I focus on one thing, I tend to do it better. That's just myself, that is just a personality thing. But right now I have zero trades and I'm just waiting for the next set of signals, based on the amount of risk I'm doing, which is 1% per trade. And I allocate 100% of what I do to this. I mean, I don't mind really waiting 1-2 weeks waiting on cash. I think it's just, I've been doing that a lot on 2024, although it seems like I did 106%, but I was in cash for multiple weeks during the year, 100%. And, we are in profit. We are at equity curve highs. So once we get the next wave of signals, I know I'm trading from equity curve highs, and I'm going to just get into new profit territory. So I don't mind waiting. In the past few years, every single time I tried to do something else which of course your question, I asked that question multiple times during the years, obviously, and every single time it just resulted in getting a little bit of losses, and then I have to get them back once I get the next set of signals and trades from my main system. So I just figured out, if I had to be in cash is a position, I will just wait it out. And when I'm at equity curve highs, which is important in my psychology and everything. So once we get the next move, the market is established, we will be making a profit. So I don't mind waiting to make a profit, and just don't have to get out of a hole. That's just me. But this is more of a personality thing.
Of course, and staying out of those drawdowns is so important, and that's one of the things that a lot of new traders don't realize. Like, if you lose a lot of money, then you have to make that money back in order to just break even. So it's super important to have low drawdowns and have that higher return. It also makes me think that if you're in cash for a while, like with current rates, I mean, my cash sitting in my account, I make almost 5% a year just holding cash, which means that if there's periods of time where there's no signals and you're just in 100% cash, you're actually making a couple more percent on top of the signal.
Yeah, and it is true. I have my money on Interactive Brokers, and they're paying almost 5% for cash, and they paid that dividend. It's the pro rata is daily, I believe. So I'm getting paid daily for being in cash. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't count that to returns. I just focus on the system. But I know I'm getting, at the end of the year, once I get the tax report from the broker, I see all the the interest payments on cash because I have a margin account, so automatically I get paid. So yeah, that's true. I don't get that in my mind, but yeah, it's true. You're right.
And do you have to do that? Like, do you have to buy something like bill or cash or something in order to make those returns, or do you have it set up that it just automatically pays?
If I'm not mistaken, on Interactive Brokers, if you have a margin account and you have cash, you're getting paid daily. I mean, that yearly rate, it's applied daily, and your account gets paid daily on interest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I have Interactive Brokers as well, because I think that they don't pay on the first $10,000, but if you have, like, say, $100,000 in cash, you're getting paid on $90,000. You're getting paid interest on that without doing anything, and that's a pretty great way. So a lot of my trades use margin, so I'm in that similar boat where I'm actually not using my cash. I have my cash just sitting there consistently making 5%, and then my options trades that I put on don't actually require that cash being put into them. They're just using it on margin, and which means I get paid on the cash, and I'm getting paid for the option trades as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
One of the things we didn't talk about was where you are. Like, you've obviously got an accent, and I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about, how you, because you're in the States, right?
Right now, I'm in the States. Yeah, I spent half of the year here in Miami and half of the year in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So yeah, right
In,
now I'm
Ar-
in Miami. Yeah.
in Argentina, and so that's where you're from. And who did you work for? Like, where did you learn all of this stuff about swing trading?
Well, everything started. This story is quite funny. Is that 12 years ago? Right now I'm 32, so I was 20 years old. The first time I got into trading, it was by my phone. The stocks app that was. I don't know if it's really right now. Apple is giving to you once you buy an iPhone, but it used to be there. And I was 20 years old, and I was looking at. I just popped it out, and I saw the stock of Apple. Obviously, I clicked it, and I saw this line chart, an intraday chart, and I saw a lot of the movements during the day, and I was like, hey, if I can buy here and sell here, and then buy here, I sell here, I can make all of this type of money, and I will be a millionaire in 3 years. Well, of course, that's all fantasy, but it kick-started that way. And I would say 90% of stuff I learned it from books. First of all, because 12 years ago there was not channels like yours. There was this was not too. I believe that all of the trading thing on the internet really got blew up after COVID on 2020. But 12 years ago there was not a YouTube channel about trading. It was not common at all. I think there was just like one or two channels that were talking about, but were more focused on forex trading, futures. I mean, more derivatives, more kind of stuff, and option stuff. I believe no one was talking about options at the time. I mean, it was not so mainstream just like it is right now. So I learned mostly from books at the time. I read, I believe, more than 150 books on trading. I read them all. And if I had to, just a good thing to talk about, if I had to recommend ones, I believe are great, are the Market Wizards. The first book, there are many books, but the first book, the interview with Larry Hyde and Ed Seykota, are gold, where they talk about, Larry Hyde talks about respecting risk. And he talks a lot about options at the time. So he was trading options way, way back there. And also Ed Seykota talks about psychology, which is, he asked the question mainly, which is, everyone gets what they want from the market. So why are you here? Most people come to the markets to gamble. So it's just a provoking question that can really change, your subconscious, why you are trading in order to push through those difficult times. Then Marshall Link, High Probability Trading, was a game changer for me. Awesome book. And everything from Van Tharp, position sizing, one of his latest books, Super Trader, awesome. Talks about the SQN, system quality number, where you can analyze systems and compare them, taking the average of if you have data on your system, which I think everybody should have, is that you can take the average risk per trade, the average reward per trade, and you can take the standard deviation and come up with a calculation to know how the probability of you actually executing a profitable system, which is pretty cool. So I learned everything from there, from books. I know everything on the internet, and everything was really, going forward. I met some people that actually traded stocks and made a lot of money. And I was, and now I'm remembering on university, there was a guy that told me he was giving a statistic class, and he told me, after the class, I came to him because he talked about, trading and everything. And he told me, like, I have a friend on New York that he trades 30 minutes per day. He opens the computer, does everything, closes it, and he makes, I don't know how much money he told me he was making. But I was really young at the time. I didn't even know anything. But he told me he worked at Wall Street. He did that. And I remember he told me he did everything 30 minutes per day. Kind of funny that I'm doing that right now. And he told me that everything was charts. That's where one of the points that he told me, don't look at the fundamentals if you want to become a trader, focus on charts. That's the only thing he told me. He didn't tell me about candlesticks. He didn't tell me about indicators, anything. Just It's everything about charts, everything about charts. And I have a couple of old books on futures that were written like in the 80s that are pretty cool. It shows all of these head and shoulders and everything. So yeah, kind of long story. I'm kind of feel like I'm rambling, but everything is from books and the internet. Internet right now has a lot of great information that it was not available 12 years ago, honestly. So,
Yeah, that is so true. Like for myself, I've been now YouTubing for 8 years. I've been trading options for 10 years. And it's one of the reasons why my channel is so options heavy. It's because I've gotten into like tons of questions that come about options trading. And, I run into beginners all the time. And that's why my service is set up mostly as like a training area so that people can come in and they can look at what types of strategies I'm doing and how I manage those and how I try to keep, a smooth curve. That's really what we're looking for is like a smooth curve. And this is one of the, excuse me, this is one of the reasons why I connected with you so easily, because I was like, oh, this system is so great. Like it just complements what I'm already doing. So unlike you, I like to have my stuff spread out. I'm like, I have just some buy and hold ETF accounts where I'm holding S&P 500 stocks or ETFs and just letting those run over time because I know that the performance is good long term. And I don't mind taking those drawdowns because they're for longer term investing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. The power to be able to, have everything diversified and everything. And I've said it to you multiple times, and I've never met someone that can trade options like you do, that you can get these returns, smooth equity curve. Honestly, I haven't met everyone. Most people that I met that are trading options, sooner or later they blow up because they don't understand the risk they're taking. But you truly understand risk in options, which is something rare. It's super rare.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to get there. If you watch back, like we'll look at some of the videos that I did over the last couple of years, you can see that there was lots of times where I would trade unlimited loss. And now I've switched so that I'm taking almost entirely positions that are limited loss because I know that events happen. And when those events happen, the drawdowns are just too great to withstand. And it's for me personally, I would rather make a little bit less money, but consistent less money than be in a situation where I'm having a massive, massive account sell off.
Yeah, and I believe that that's all what trading is all about. If I would take, just like you said, I would take small, consistent wins, over time with no big drawdowns, 100%. Because even if you go into the institutional world, I mean, if you have a big drawdown relative to your risk, you are discarded automatically. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If your drawdown is too big relative to your wins, your risk-adjusted returns are not good. You are not considered a good trader. A good trader is someone, it's considered that manages the risk. Because if you have a big drawdown, getting off a drawdown is super hard. It's like everything gets so much difficult, to execute.
Yeah, totally. So do you generate your signals from the data from the day before then?
Exactly. Yeah. And I show it if you watch the masterclass where I show how I trade my system, I show that my side, I show it over there. In fact, with all of the software I use, I don't show the exact scans, obviously, but I show my process where at the end of the day, I'm scanning and I do it in real time. I scan for trades and I decide which ones will go, which is like in my system, there is a 5% discretion, which is pure experience, which signals to take. And once I take it, the signal is generated and I send the email to enter the next day. And sometimes if I cannot make it to the end of the day, I just trade it myself. I go through the night. Overnight, I run through the scans, I generate the signals, and I enter myself with the limit order the next day. So this is just like a two-way things that I can do it. Yeah.
So this is interesting. So it's similar to mine then, my service, which is you take a chunk of your time to generate all of the signals, and then the end users who are part of our memberships, they actually have very little contact time because you've done all the work on the back end, similarly to what I do. I come up with all of the option trades and then I just alert them to my Discord. So Wow, that's yeah. I mean, it's interesting it's so cool that we're able to do this, that we're able to
Yeah.
provide this to people.
Yeah, and and that's why if people would understand once they get a signal or whatever, a recommendation, the amount of work that has been done before that, so it's just they are getting the cherry of the pie. It's like people get it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like we have done a ton here, and I think that this has given my viewers a pretty good insight into a different scope of trading. And I want to thank you for your time today, because it's been great. It's been great chatting with you over the last couple of months. I mean, I feel like we're starting to have like a good rapport, and I'm super excited to continue with what you're offering. And one day I am going to sit you down, and I'm going to teach you at least the options basics.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, this is something that I have in my life, that I always say, someday I will get into options and I will get it right. Someday I will. I assure you, someday I will. Yeah, of course I will. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. And it would be a good excuse for me to come back to Miami. It's been a long time. I think the last time I was in Miami was like 20 years ago. So it would be a good little trip for me to get down there and see you, get some sunshine away from this snow up here.
Yeah. You're getting snow, but right now in Miami, it's right now it's raining, and it's also cold this winter. It's one of the strongest I've been in the last 6 years. So yeah, hope it will be better to get here on the summer for sure, 100%. Yeah.
That sounds great. Let's make that happen. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I'm going to get out of here because the trading day is about to start. It's 6:29, and have a fantastic day.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you too. Thank you very much for getting the opportunity to be here. And yeah, trading day is about to start, so let's get to it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Felipe. Talk soon. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you very much.